Hey guys, it's John and welcome back to another episode again. And my friends, if you're hearing or seeing this for the first time, just to let you know that every Sunday we drop a new episode where we talk about business, health, entrepreneurship, money, mindset, confidence, and we talk about different topics every week, which is absolutely exciting. And if you are hearing this for the first time, you can actually hear this on Spotify. You can watch it on YouTube as well. Just look for my name and just look at all the other episodes and see if you can get some great value again. But more importantly, guys, thank you very much for the continued support. The feedback has been absolutely sensational. But today, guys, I am holding a pen and I am holding a nice notepad. And if you know me by now, guys, if I'm holding my notepad, that means we're going to talk about something that's quite intense, quite of importance as well. And guys, I recommend that you get a pen and paper and start drawing notes on this particular subject. So guys, I really want to share with you a really important thing, right? And I'm going to ask you a really cool question right now. And the question is, what do you think that people know you for in the marketplace and what you do for maybe work, living, and your habits? Think about it for a moment. So let's repeat that again. What do you think people know you in terms of what do you do for work and how you're perceived in terms of your habits? It's a very important question. You know, especially now that industries are changing, economy is getting tight. People, if they're going to be buying a product or service, they want to really be dealing with a person that they can trust and they can find dependence on. So if you're struggling in your business right now, I guarantee you probably are struggling with an identity issue where maybe the market in your particular field maybe doesn't know you. And more importantly, maybe people in your network don't trust you enough to be doing business with you. I know it sounds harsh. And the reason why I'm being open about this as well, because I'm going to share with you my journey and the change that I've made both on an external and internal level where it's helped me develop to be a completely different person. But more importantly, the opportunities that have manifested and presented are completely different now than what they were only 2 or 3 years ago. So it's going to be a really cool, interesting episode. Let's get started. So I believe that when the market or people in particular have a perception on us, there are 2 things that they critically look at. There is the external and internal layers of us, right? And if you don't know what that means, think about it like this. You know, I love sport. I love basketball, right? Now, if you say to me, who's your favorite basketball player? I will automatically go, yep, it's Michael Jordan. And I will say Michael Jordan is the best basketball player on the planet by far. And still, even to this day, no one has beat his records, etc., right? So that is an external layer of perception. So just on the outside, I can say, hey, he's the best basketball player on this planet, or back in his day, more importantly as well. And, you know, if I had to choose my top 5 basketball players, he'll be my number 1. That's what you call an external perception on someone or someone in the marketplace. And then I'm going to share with you my perception of the feedback that I've been getting from the market and friends and family and whatnot. And then there's also the internal layer, which is your habits and your rituals that you're known for. So yes, Michael Jordan is known to be the best basketball player at that time. But if you ask or see what people have talked about him who actually know him on a deeper level, they will always say the following things. Number 1, he was the hardest working basketball player in the Chicago's Bulls team in particular. He was a leader within his team. He missed thousands and thousands of shots that no one would have seen while he was practicing, right? And the other thing was, he was the first person to get into a training session, and he was the last person to actually leave his training session. That's what he was known for on an internal level. So let's break it down. There's the external level where you see someone on the outside, and then there's also the internal stuff where it's all about habits, right? So let's share my journey now, right? So if you don't know me well, and you're probably seeing this person on the screen right now or hearing me, you probably think, wow, he sounds confident. He sounds like he knows what he's on about. He's on a great direction, whatever the case may be. But I guarantee you guys, if you know me from 3-4 years ago, I was a completely different person. And I know we're all meant to grow every year, but unfortunately, 95% of people don't even actually change who they are. So going back 4 years ago, if you knew who I was a person who didn't have a strong work ethic. I went to work. I think that's just the minimum, right? But I didn't have a strong work ethic. I wasn't really good with long-term vision, goals, and setting. And more importantly, I was drifting from one industry or one role to another company to another company. And it really affected me for a very, very, very long time. I wasted a lot of bad time and energy doing this. And then once I changed my mindset, I got some mentoring and really took stock in who I am. I started to really change the external outputs and also the internal outputs on who I am. And then what was formed was a new identity to the marketplace. And honestly, guys, in the last 4 years, my income has shot up. I've got more opportunities now. I'm working more harder than I actually am. It's a Sunday and I'm doing these podcasts for you guys for free so you can learn and get some value. So I'm doing all these crazy things now, but that's because the market is demanding it based on their perception of myself. So let's start with the external layer, which is your perceived old visual self, right? So when people used to see me on the outside, I was always a genuinely, skinny person, but I was never really fit or anything like that, number one. Number two, I was changing industries and careers like I was mentioning before. The third thing was, within my household, guys, my wife didn't find me as a reliable person. I was very emotional. I was very up and down. I was very anxious. So those were some of the external things, right? And if I continued in that course, I was not going to achieve the goals and outcomes that I wanted to achieve. So I had to completely change my identity to ensure that the marketplace, including my friends and family, could see me as a person that's more reliable, dependable, and more courageous and whatnot. So what did I do and what changes did I make? There was three main components. So when I wanted to really get serious in my career, the first thing I did was become very specialized within two particular sectors only. Number one being my logistics industry. So I've been in logistics for 13 years, but honestly, in the last 4 years, I've put so much effort and energy into that industry where I'm considered to be a really well-known person within the industry, especially for my age, which is absolutely awesome. And what's happened out of that, guys, is my income has shot up completely too. And I'm working a lot less hours within the industry because I've got systems and processes in place because I'm not just changing jobs in industries, if that makes any sense. So that's number one. Number two is because I've become a lot more dependable on my work and obviously well-known in the industry, my income absolutely shot up as well. Then I started to notice that my friends and family were seeing changes. Let me tell you again, my friends and family started seeing changes. I've drawn some really cool people into my life now, right? Friends and family have completely changed their perception of me. My mum sees me as the most reliable person ever. She thinks I'm going to be doing extremely well in what I want to do. Her belief in me is absolutely incredible. I've got massive belief in myself. I don't need anyone else's validation, but she understands that I'm going to get somewhere. I've got cousins and relatives who have all mentioned that as well, and good friends in my circle who have noticed complete changes as well. And just to give you perspective, I'm trying to build up a bit of a investment portfolio, and I want to learn more knowledge. And I reached out to a guy last week, and I've been trying to reach out to this guy for a very long time. And normally he wouldn't answer, he wouldn't want to catch up. And it was only last week he said, "Hey man, I've been seeing your content, you're doing great things. I want to eventually meet up with you and let's have a chat and see if I can't help you out in your journey as well." Right? I think it's very, very important. Within my coaching business as well, it's absolutely, taken off because people know who I am as a person. They know that I'm in logistics. They know I've been in sales for a very long time. They know that I invest. They know that I invest in myself as well, where my confidence level has completely changed as well. I'm emotionally stable. And when you're emotionally stable, guys, people will follow you because they can believe in you and they know that you're a leader. People don't want to follow unstable emotional people, guys. That's the true facts, right? So that's on an external level. On an internal level, like when we were talking about Michael Jordan, he was playing basketball, right? That's what we all saw on the outside, but people known him to have tremendous work ethic. He was a great leader. He was the hardest worker in the room, etc. So I'm going to share my story with my internal mechanisms as well. Work ethic, definitely I wasn't known to have the strongest work ethic. I was just known as a person who would clock in, clock off. Habit-wise, I never used to wake up early, always used to wake up at 7 o'clock, and, I'd sleep very late. And what happened from that too, I was very lethargic, very low energy, low frequency too, right? Number 3, I was lacking a lot of self-confidence because I didn't have any trust or built-in systems within myself. So I had no confidence, which affected my relationships, right? All these little things. But I'm going to tell you the new me on an internal level. So I've been training very hard for the last 3 years on a physical and mental level. I wake up at 5 o'clock almost every day, 6 days a week. And I'm at the gym at the same time. I go to the same gym. I don't change gyms. I don't change locations. Always in the same environment. And what I've noticed is that, my friends who know me quite well, find it inspirational that I go gym in the morning. But more importantly, guys, I've built up a circle within my gym where I'm getting a lot of business opportunities because people are saying, man, this guy rocks up to the gym every day. My network sees it on the outside. They're like, hey, man, you train every morning. You must be very dependable. I'm always accessible. So these are the things that people will notice, right? That's what I'm known for. I'm known for that consistency as well. Before I had no real long-term vision. I've got 30-year plans. I'm turning 40 next year. And I'm going to be working for the rest of my life because I love helping and serving people. But I've actually got 30-year plans in freaking place that I want to pass on some sort of knowledge and legacy to people within my circle or my church or my community, right? These are the things that I'm doing. Other things that have completely changed is my emotional intelligence. I don't get anxious anymore. I don't get depressed anymore. I don't even panic anymore. I've got a lot of challenges like everyone else, and you'll never see me really stress out or blow out or implode. I'm very controlled. And, I do have a big faith and all that kind of stuff as well. But the biggest thing that people know me for is 2 things: consistency and discipline. Let me say it again. People know me for being consistent and disciplined. It's very hard to get my attention. It's very hard for you to shine some new shiny object that will take me off my course, because I must not fail in the pursuit of what I want to go through. I can't get my eye off that laser target. I've got laser target focus at the moment where I'm chasing a couple of particular goals and I'm not going to stop at nothing. So that's what I'm really known for on an internal level. Consistency and discipline. Some of my friends call me Mr. Consistent. Some of my friends call me Mr. Discipline, because I'm always doing what I say I'm going to do. And just to give you perspective, I went to Perth last week and I had a client who reached out for an emergency Friday night meeting. So sometimes when we're coaching people, they want to do an emergency meeting if something's coming up. And I said, hey, look, I've just landed from Perth. Let me get home and let's do a quick 10-minute catch up. And, my friend goes, no, it's okay. Look, it's an emergency, but you need to relax. And I said, I've committed to being your mentor and helping you out. I was dead tired. Mark my words. I was dead tired from a 5-hour flight, and I still managed to, help my colleague out and being what they've got to do, right? Saturday, I had 2 coaching calls in the morning, and I went to gym at 5 a.m. I was absolutely tired, battered, and really, really buggered. But I want to be known as a person who is consistent and disciplined. And because of those 2 action guys, I'm getting a lot more opportunities. I'm saying more no's than yes than ever before, because I have to provide my coaching clients with a service, and I've got my business in terms of logistics as well that I've got to focus on as well completely. And then I've got a couple of other projects in the background. So guys, if you want to become well known within your industry, I'm going to give you 3 last tips. Number 1, stick to a long-term plan. Number 1. Number 2, get your shit in order. Get your shit in order, guys. No one wants to deal with the person that's all over the shop. Number 3, seek help. Seek mentoring, counseling, whatever you need. Seek assistance from your friends or family who can help you though. get the right advice from the right people, guys. So thank you again, my friends, for joining me on this absolutely amazing session as well. I've had it in my heart to really be honest about what I wanted to talk about today again. And again, guys, thank you very much for the continued support. I wish you guys nothing but the best. Have an incredible week. And guys, if you are watching this on YouTube for the first time, if you can subscribe and like, I'll be much appreciative. So again, guys, have an amazing week.